Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also on the Mike Wagner Show channel at YouTube, the Mike Wagner Show. You can also check us out on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And also watch the audio version as well on YouTube as well. And take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any device, wherever you go. On any mobile device, just take us with you, the Mike Wagner Show. We're back with a really wonderful and funny comedian from the Boston, New England area. I've had him on before. He's got some great projects coming up, and this guy will just make you laugh, guaranteed. And he just got a great start. He'll just tell you all about it. And not only he's a really popular Boston comic, he's also a huge sports fan, Patriots fan, Red Sox, Bruins, Celtics, and he'll just tell you all about it. He also has a podcast called Funny Like a Clown, and this guy is definitely funny like a clown. He's also made comedy appearances, also been in special charities, special causes, just has a heart for just a number of things. We'll talk about that, and a very, very interesting video podcast, which has been getting great reviews on YouTube and all over the internet. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, live from Beantown, where he's just going to ready taking the Red Sox, talk about the Patriots, and he's probably on the phone with Tom Brady, too, trying to make him laugh. So, ladies and gentlemen, live from Boston, Dennis Wirth. Dennis, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us again today.
Mike, thank you for having me. It's a rainy day down here in Boston, but my day's brightened up. I get to be on your show, so thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Hey, it's great to have you back as well, too. We love having you on. And, of course, you know, you got off to a really interesting start. You've been in the New England comedy scene for a number of years, and you've got a podcast called Funny as a Clown. You've got a number of comedians talking about famous comedians, and you also appeared on stage all over the New England area. You also been on, made a few TV appearances, and you also got a podcast, which we'll talk about as well, too. But first, before we talk about that, once again, tell us how you got started.
Wow, boy, I always loved comedy as a kid watching it. I never knew how to get started. That was half the problem. You don't put in a job application for comedy. Then one day I got a pamphlet from the local college that said night courses, introduction to stand-up comedy, and I was like, I'll take the class. I'll look back years from now and think, I tried comedy. Well, I took the class. One thing led to another. It just took off for me. And it started to take off where things were happening for me without a little bit of effort. And I said, well, wonder what would happen if I started to put a lot of effort in. I put a lot of effort in, and they just blew up even more. And I've been having the time of my life from Boston to Vegas to L.A. to Alaska. I've been all over doing shows, and I'm living the dream.
Yes, it sounds like you're living the dream. And what was like the one moment, other than getting that pamphlet in the mail, that influenced you into comedy?
Well, I'm a big fan of Sam Kinnison's, and I mean, I could have watched comedy forever, but watching Sam, he really inspired me to want to try it. I mean, I was in tears watching this guy, and I said, I got to make somebody laugh as hard as he made me laugh. I have to do this, and it's been quite the trip ever since.
Mm-hmm. And it's also sad that Sam Kinison passed away on New Year's Eve. And I think it was in Peoria in a car wreck after, performing with one of the best comedians out there. And of course, you also live to tell a story too. And you also talk about that and also some of the other comedians who had influence on you too. It's like besides Sam Kinison, you can also name a few as well.
Well, I'll give you some breaking news right here on the Mike Wagner Show. I haven't announced this yet, but I'll announce it here first. Actually, in July, we're going to start filming a short film about Sam Kinnison's life, and I'm playing Sam in it, and we have director Adam Griswold from Smoking Bottle Entertainment. He went to college for directing, and he's already won a couple of Boston film festivals, and actually just last night he won first place in the Spring Shorts Film Festival. So we got a pro director, we got some pro actors in it, and it's called From Preacher to Prophet, a Sam Kinison story. So I'm beyond excited to get started on that project and wait for it to come out. Other than Sam Kinison, I'm a big Andrew Dice Clay, he was kind of the poor man's Sam Kinison, I always thought, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still, I had an affection for dirty jokes. It just, stuff you wouldn't say in your real life. You'd have to, you kind of
Right.
hide it from your parents type of thing. It's an escape from reality. It's nothing you do in real life, and that's why you listen to it in comedy. But Ron White from the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, big fan of Ron White. Artie Lang from the Howard Stern Show, big fan of his. Gilbert Gottfried, I've met him before. He's a character too. But all these guys inspired me.
Mm-hmm. Also, another comedian comes to mind, Lenny Bruce, as well too. And I remember, my folks watching that as well too. Maybe give some thoughts about that.
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy who paved the way. Back in the day, Axl Rose at Guns N' Roses, he's wanted by, I forget, some state because he cited a riot. He actually riled the crowd up to, start breaking things, and you can't just use your influence to, influence people to do illegal stuff. And Lenny Bruce, he went up and he said a lot of stuff that got him in trouble. He got arrested after shows for saying it, but I mean, he really paved the way for other comics to have free speech and say what they wanted. So he was the guy who set the stage for the rest of them to do what they do.
And of course, he also set the stage for Boston comedy as well too. Besides talking about with the sports and going out with the Patriots, Red Sox, Celtics, and of course you got the Boston Bruins, on the way to the Stanley Cup final as well too. So, what are some of your jokes based on as well too when you do your comedy routine?
My jokes based on what again?
Yeah. Well, what you base your jokes on, like say say your life or sports or events?
They say the real life stuff is funnier than anything you could make up, and I find that true. And I went through a real bad divorce, and my son, who I love more than anything, he was getting caught in the middle. The children pay the price more than anybody in a divorce. So I actually took on a theme, I call the child support superhero, where I talk about my experience with child support and the whole legal system and everything. And after shows, I became the guy that people talk to. Everybody wants to talk about it, but nobody knows who to talk to. They were chasing me down after shows to tell me their story, and my mind was being blown by some of these stories. And I got the second annual coming up. They call it Comics for Justice, for a child's right to both parents. We're doing the second show next month. We got the King of Boston Comedy, Steve Sweeney, headline, and I'm going to be on the show with a couple other Boston guys too. And we're trying to raise some money so we can put forward an effort to solve the problem, because awareness is the key, and to spread awareness, certainly money helps. We're talking about putting up some billboards, and we're organizing and maybe put together a march on Washington someday, we hope.
Oh, that'd be great, too. We'll talk more about the causes as well, too. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@SonicWebStudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can also check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and watch the interview on YouTube as well, too. And also on the Mike Wagner Show channel, which can be seen on the Mike Wagner Show. Just go to YouTube and type in the Mike Wagner Show. You can also take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device, and that's the Mike Wagner Show. We're here with comedian Dennis Wirth from the Boston area talking about how he got started and, just taking on so many projects and a number of appearances. And you also talked about your foundation for Comics for Justice, and, of course, we'll talk a little more about that. You also got involved in Comics for Cure and Laughter is the Best Medicine, and you can tell us all about that and some of the other causes that you also support in the Boston area.
Yeah, that was how I got started. I did 5 years of Comics for Cure and Laughter is the Best Medicine. And my sister, she had muscular dystrophy, so I saw firsthand growing up, the good these charities do, where, she got to go to special needs camp, and it cost a lot because they need special equipment to handle these kids,
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the Jerry Lewis Telethon, that was paying for the stuff. I've dated a girl for 10 years. She has multiple sclerosis, and I see, it's a very mean disease. It gives you hope that takes the hope away. And I mean, certainly she can barely walk, never mind work for a living. And I mean, she needs the help. If you're able to help out, and I'm, God's put me in a position where I'm able to help out, you should do it, I think. So, I mean, I get involved in any charity I can. And, you know, a lot of comics, they brag about how much money they made in comedy, and I get a bigger charge out of helping people out making nothing than I do, you know, getting a big payday. So all depends how you want to go in life, and I go the way of helping people out.
And there's an interesting story about how one comedian bragged about he made, what was it, $2,000 a night doing stand-up comedy, but you did you tapped him on with what was it, like 5,000, and you
Yeah, we made $5,000 for charity. I didn't make nothing on the gig, but we raised it for breast cancer awareness. He's talking about, he thought he was hot stuff making $2,000. I'm like, well, I didn't make a penny, but we raised $5,000 for breast cancer awareness, so I'll take that any day of the week and have a good day.
That is amazing. And of course, you know, not only do your charity causes when you go on stage, you go on tour and everything, do you also make appearances at hospitals as well too? Do you just you know, visit the kids, visit the staff, or do you put on a show like at the hospital itself?
We have done some hospitals before. We do a lot of for soldiers who come back from war, vets and stuff like that. We go to the places where they stay, but mostly it's people who contact us, you know, if they have, like, you know, their loved one just got diagnosed with cancer and they need some money, you know, to take care of the medical costs, or, you know, while they're going to be out of work, they contact us. We put the show together with them, and, you know, they bring their family and friends down. We advertise it up, and it's amazing to see the community really come together, you know, because, I mean, we've had a lot of shows where, you know, you thought the days passed where everybody cared about themselves, but if you got a good cause, people are willing to get involved. The community comes together and tries to help the people in their community out. It's a good thing to see.
That is amazing too. And where else have you traveled to do your comedy and causes outside the Boston area? And you have, where else have you traveled to do your comedy routine for causes?
Wow, geez, I've been out to Vegas. I've been out to LA. I've been up to Alaska. I actually just got invited in a few months to go back to Alaska again, so it's always a fun time up there. Vegas, that's a real hot spot for comedy. I got to open up for Carl LeBove, who was Sam Kinnison's best friend and opening act for years, so I really got a charge out of that up in Alaska. Now he's got residency out in Vegas at the Tropicana, so we go out there and visit him a couple times. And actually, one of my big dreams was to perform at the Comedy Store, so we took a trip across the desert in our car out to L.A., and I got to perform at the Comedy Store, so I'm chucking things off my bucket list left and right. And, you know, when I started comedy, I actually wrote down a list of everything I wanted to accomplish, and I'm about 90% through the list. So once it's over, I don't know what the heck I'm going to do in comedy once I've done it all.
Oh, my gosh, that's amazing. 90% you wrote a bucket list. Was it just on a piece of paper, or did it require a squirrel, which rolled about 3 feet down the floor? Like, here it is. Whoa, here we go.
Stuff I never thought I'd do, I'll tell you, but you write it down and you work on it, and, you know, you got to put the effort in. I put the effort in, and a lot of people tell me, you know, how do you headline? How do you do that many minutes? And comedy's like anything else. The more you put into it, the more you get out of it.
That is very true. And also, you talked about setting up a comedy store, and ideally, where would you have it? And would it be strictly just for causes or anything like that, or would it be just for a regular stand-up, or what would you have a comedy store for?
Probably a mixture of the both. And I mean, I book a couple of rooms now. I got one in Leominster, Massachusetts, and one in Gardner, Massachusetts. So I'm the guy in Central Mass. If you go to Boston, there's all kinds of big comedy clubs out there. I mean, I do play them, but if you come to Central Mass, I'm the guy who's making them all laugh around here. They all work for me. It's called Joke in the Box Comedy Club. And, yeah, we do both. I mean, we have the regular comedy nights, and if somebody contacts me where they need to raise some money for a good cause, then we throw a show for them and try to raise them some money. I'm up for anything. People want to laugh, I'm up for anything.
That is amazing. How much a percentage goes towards the causes, and what's percentage for the other expenses?
Well, you know, when you got a good cause, it's amazing. People want to jump on board and help. So, I mean, a lot of, you know, a lot of the halls, I mean, the halls that I use, they usually donate the halls for free, so you don't have to pay for that. And the comics, you know, I mean, we usually do it for gas money, where, you know, we're making a whole lot more than that if it's a regular show, but to help out, we'll just take gas money. So, I mean, it's about 99% of the money that's actually going to the actual cause, so it's a good number, yeah.
That is amazing. I mean, you're just a very charitable guy, and looking forward to more of your stuff as well, too. And, of course, you also not just do comedy as well, too. We'll talk about your podcast and your upcoming project. Listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also, check our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can also download and listen on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Also, watch the interview on YouTube as well, too, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Mike Wagner Show, and check out the many interviews that you have on The Mike Wagner Show, and take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device wherever you go, on Android, as well as your tablet, smartphone, and also just take us on your laptop as well, too. We're here with comedian Dennis Wirth out of the Boston area. He talked about his how he got started in comedy, and also the number of charitable causes he's been involved in. And, of course, just talks about a lot of things, but also he supplements with a couple of podcasts as well, too. And one that's been around, it's called Funny Like a Clown, just having local comedians talking about famous comedians, and just tell us how it got started, and just tell us about some of the interviews as well.
Yeah, well, I did a TV show, The Comedy Kitchen, for a while, and as we were talking about earlier, television, it's a lot of fun, but it's a whole lot of work, okay? And I have more respect for the people in TV after I did it, because you have no idea how much work goes into doing a TV show. And as much as I enjoyed it, and I had some big stars on, well, the big stars are difficult to deal with because you really got to play to their ego, and television is so much work. I was looking for something simpler, so I started Funny Like a Clown podcast, where there's no big egos. It's for the fans. It's about the fans. It's with the fans. It's all about the fans, not the big stars. We talk about the big stars, where I'm a Sam Kinison fan, so for me to get the chance to talk about my hero, that's a thrill for me. And I have some local comics who are thrilled to be on, and they get to talk about their heroes. And, I mean, I love comedy, and every weekend, once a week I get to do what I love to do and just talk about comedy. So it's got a really good, it's fun watching your numbers grow each week, and each week they're getting bigger. So I thank the listeners for that. And it's a lot less work with television. It's a lot more rewarding because, you're with the fans, no egos involved.
That's amazing, too. And where can people find your Funny Like a Clown podcast?
It's on TalkShoe.com. That's a community for podcasters. And if you just want to listen to the audio version, you can go to TalkShoe.com and look up Funny Like a Clown podcast. Or if you want the video version, it's also on YouTube, and it's also on Facebook as well.
That is amazing, too, and how people can access as well, too, and check you out. And not only a Funny Like a Clown podcast, you also got a brand new video podcast called The Comedy Kitchen, which has been out, and I got to check it out. You got some really amazing stuff, and just tell us all about how that got started, and just tell us all about what it is, The Comedy Kitchen.
Yeah, The Comedy Kitchen. Well, I was a guest on a lot of local TV shows, and I was like sitting there, hey, this is kind of cool. It'd be nice to have my own show sometime. So I approached LTV in Leominster, Massachusetts about doing my own show, where I've worked in a restaurant for over 40 years. So I said, well, wouldn't it be cool to cook up a few dishes I've learned over the years in my regular job with some famous comedians? And we've had on Lenny Clark, Steve Sweeney, Jimmy J.J. Walker from Good Times, Jackie the Joke Man, Stuttering John from the Howard Stern Show, Tom Cotter from America's Got Talent. So, I mean, for a local TV show, we've had some major, national stars on it, and it's been a lot of fun. We've had over 50 episodes plus a few specials, and we've slowed down now. We were having some local Boston comics on, and now we're doing special episodes every now if we get a big name, but I'm more concentrating on the podcast now at this point in my life. The TV shows kind of taking a little bit of, we're still doing it, but it's taking a little bit of a backseat.
That is amazing, too. And what are some of the favorite dishes that the comics had, and what do you think is the most common, and what's the most unusual dish they had on the show?
Well, let's see. We had a lot of seafood dishes. We had working in an Asian food restaurant, so the shrimp and lobster sauce we did with Steve Sweeney. Then actually the fire department kind of cracked down on me a little bit because I was cooking in a TV studio. I didn't have hood vents and sprinklers.
Oh, no.
The fire department's got nothing better to do. So we switched over to some cold dishes, but I've been making some health drinks in a blender with Lenny Clark and Stuttering John. So the health drinks are good, which I need to lose some weight anyway. So the health drinks, they're a good thing. But
and I'm sure a lot of us are on the seafood diet. I see food and need it. That's what they say. So
that's right. And I've been on that diet for too long. I need to go on a different one. But no, I also worked, besides the Asian food, I worked in the pizza industry for 10 years. And all this stuff they're doing now, the buffalo pizza, the barbecue pizza, we were doing that years ago before anybody heard about it, for just like the people who work at the restaurant, before it became a mainstream thing you could order. And I actually invented my own buffalo sauce.
Nice.
G Vegas buffalo sauce. I named it after the town I live out of, Gardner. It's got the nickname G Vegas, which everybody's got a different story why they named Gardner G Vegas. But G Vegas buffalo sauce, you can find it at gvegas.webs.com. And it's a homemade brew, and it's the best you'll ever have, I promise you.
Oh, my goodness. You're making me hungry already. You're talking about pizza with all kinds there, with the buffalo pizza, the chicken pizza, Hawaiian pizza.
Well, you're a sports guy. You got to have the buffalo wings when you watch the sports, right? It's a must.
That's right, too. And, of course, being from Chicago myself, deep dish pizza, that's the way to go. And, of course, the only time you get really good deep dish pizza, you have to be in Chicago itself. We tried in other places, and it's like, yeah.
That's the Chicago guy. Then if you go to New York, it's the thin crust. You got to have the New York thin crust.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Depends what side of the continent you're on.
Yeah, pretty much. and of course, being sports myself as well too. That I have a little interesting story to share. That I took the whole family to Buffalo Wild Wings in Bismarck. You figure it'd be a lot of Cub fans there, but it's like a mix. Handful of Cub fans, and you had a good portion was a group of pastors from Cleveland attending a conference in Bismarck. They were diehard Indian fans watching Game 7 in the 2016 World Series, and that was one that went on to like 1 a.m. where the Cubs won it in 10 innings, where it's like, they had
heated up Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, and the funny part was we kept ordering, and just loading up on the wings and everything else. And then as the game went on, there was like cheers and everything else. It wasn't like, a riot or anything like that. And then after the game, when like on the last out where it's like, what was it? Chris Bryant, third base, picks up a ball. It's like, don't bobble it. And then you throw, make sure you get to the first base. And then Joe Rizzo's like, no, don't drop it. Or, the umpire's like, you better make the right call. And then when they said out, the Cub fans just went crazy. And I just cried, literally. I was just filming it on my iPad, and I was just crying in tears.
We take our sports seriously. See, it's not like a fan thing. It's more of a way of life for us guys,
That's right. It was like 108 years, and I said, thank you, Jesus. Now I can go to heaven being a Cub fan, witnessing the World Series. I've seen the Bulls win, back-to-back three-peats. Blackhawks won 3 Stanley Cups in the 2010 decade. And, of course, the Bruins could catch up pretty easily. And the Penguins had their chance. They blew it. And, of course, the Bears had their Super Bowl and everything else. And, of course, my Packers won twice with 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And then you had the pastors from Cleveland come over and say, hey, thanks for watching. God bless you and everything else. And you said, hey, congratulations to the Cubs. It says, hey, thank you, and God bless you guys, and we're praying your Cleveland Indians win next year so you don't have to cry about it like we did.
At least they were cool about it. That's good. We were hoping in Boston, they call it the Grand Slam, that all our teams would win the championship, but our Boston Celtics, they ruined that for us, but there's always next year.
But, of course, the Celtics had won quite a few as well, too, before the Grand Slam. Of course, New England had their chances as well, too. It's like, they always lost to the Giants on the final minute every single time. It seems like the Giants was always a thorn on their side.
That
Otherwise,
was our nemesis for sure, yeah. Manning.
I think they would have like maybe, 7 or 8 Super Bowls if it wasn't for the bloody Giants. They had that.
As Bill Parcells once said, you are what you are. Every team could say, well, if this happened or if that happened, you are what you are. We got 6 of them, and that's something to be proud of right there.
And of course, the question is, will the Patriots win their number 7? And if they did, will Tom Brady and Bill Belichick retire? I guess that's the big question. It's like, if they did win their number 7, would Brady and Belichick retire, or would they just continue? What do you think?
Bill Belichick, as part of his deal, he won't let anybody know how long his deal's for, so nobody knows when it's up. And Tom Brady, he's still playing at a high level, but at his age, it could drop off at any time. So I think it all depends on how he's playing. If he's still playing at a high level, there's no reason to quit. So until it stops, you keep going, I would think,
Oh, exactly. You're right, too. And of course, the Boston Red Sox, that Red Sox and the Yankees all go 1-2 every single time, although it's a long season. Tampa Bay, as we speak, as well, is in first place. It's like, who would have thought Tampa Bay being first place early in the year with the Red Sox and Yankees battling for second? It's like, who would have thought of it this time of year?
Yeah, a lot of the stereotypes we grew up with, it's changing. Even the Cubs, look how long it took them to win a World Series. Cleveland, they were never in it. All of a sudden they won. So times are changing in baseball.
Mm-hmm. Exactly it, too. And of course, got the Minnesota Twins being in first place, surprising everybody. The Dodgers, still in first place. And the question is, will Clayton Kershaw come through in Game 7 in a clutch situation, or will that dark cloud loom over his head? I guess that's another big question.
We'll find out, right? But I think it's a good thing for baseball because every year you can name the teams that were going to be in it and name the teams that weren't going to be in it. And that's starting to change, and I think that's a good thing for baseball where everybody's got a chance.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the Boston Red Sox, with how they did last year, they just steamrolled through the season as well, too. And of course, what do you think you see ahead? Despite being in second place, and
they had a tough schedule to begin with. It was a very tough schedule, and they had so many expectations coming off of last year. But when you hit the top, where there's only one direction to go. You know what that is? The only direction to go is down once you hit the top. So I mean, it's a long season, and they're starting to get better, and we'll see what happens in the end.
Mm-hmm. And of course, too, just like the Boston Bruins as well, too, they haven't won the Cup in a while. They had a chance to beat the Blackhawks, but the Blackhawks beat them with 2 goals in the final 20 or 10 seconds. I think it was in 2013 and 14, and it looks like they're more hungry now. They knocked off Carolina in 4 straight games.
Yeah, they're the favorites to win the Stanley Cup, and I mean, with the teams that are left, I wouldn't go against them. Never say never, but their goalie's hot as hot could be, and that's what it takes to win. It's a hot goalie, and he is red hot right now.
Yes, I remember Tuukka Rask. I think he was, influential in that last appearance in the Stanley Cup as well, too. But the Blackhawks prevailed. They haven't won in a while, and of course, you also talk about your sports as well, too. And how often do people come up to you and talk sports, like after your comedy or anything like that?
Yeah, it's a way of life around here in Boston. That's why everybody spends their money. Everybody's got their jerseys, and I see you got your Green Bay shirt back there. I mean, you go to anybody's house, and you got your man cave of sports stuff. So it's a way of life around here. It's not just something you talk about. I mean, you back it up with we take it almost too seriously sometimes. Where I know a lot of these countries, soccer's big in other countries, and I mean, if the refs make a call, they have to have security because the fans will charge the field to go after the ref if they make a call against their team, and it's getting to be that big around here where, don't mess with our team. It's our way of life,
Exactly. You're right, too. And of course, it's just like with the circuit you do and everything else is like, don't mess with the special kids. Don't mess with anything like that. And of course, just keep doing what you're doing. And, that's all I could say at this point. But, just a few more minutes here. And who would you say biggest influence in your career would be when it comes to comedy?
My mom's. I wouldn't be doing half of what I'm doing without my mom's support because I mean, she really. I mean, if I ever need help doing something, she's right there to help me do it. And my son has been the inspiration. Like I said, I hope no other father ever has to go through what I've gone through. And the child support superhero and the money that I'm raising. To help raise awareness for a child's right to both parents equally. And I've had a few girls come up to me after the show and they get the wrong ideas. Oh, you're trying to bash moms and you should be a man and pay your child support and that. And it's like, they're getting the wrong idea. That's not what it's about. And I put this question to them and it kind of shuts everybody up because you can't argue with facts. And my question is, well, how many more children have to go decades without speaking because of parental alienation? How many more children have to commit suicide? How many more parents have to commit suicide before we realize as a people that this system isn't working? So it's not no bash on mom or dad. It's a bash against the system. It's not working.
Exactly right. And that's what your Comics for Justice is all about. And, once again, just tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your next Comics for Justice fundraiser and also your next upcoming fundraiser, and tell everybody what's your website and how to contact you.
We got July 14th. We are doing the second Comics for Justice telethon. We got a big show with Steve Sweeney. You can go on Facebook, look up the Child Support Superhero. He's got over 11,000 likes. That's the home base for it. If you want the home base for my comedy, where there's a link to the Child Support, the Joke in the Box, the Comedy Kitchen, the Funny Like Clown podcast, go to www.denniswirth.webs.com. Worth is spelled with an I, so it's W-I-R-T-H. Check that out. Go to Facebook. Check out Joke in the Box Comedy. Comics for Comics That Care. That's on Facebook, too. That's my page where, a lot of the charities we do, you can find that information on there. I got a page for each of them, Funny Like Clown, but, the website, that'll lead you to, all these pages for the stuff I do.
That is amazing, too. And lastly, before I let you go, I have a very busy schedule. What's the best advice you can give to anybody right now?
Don't ever let somebody tell you you're too old to do what you love, because I almost thought I was too old to try comedy, and I would have missed out on some of the funnest times of my life if I didn't try. You're never too old to do what you love. Do it. I don't care how old we are.
That's right. We're living proof right here. I'll tell you that.
That's right. The two of us. We'll make it happen.
Yes, that's right. Okay, great, Dennis. Just want to thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. And, of course, looking forward to having you on again soon. And do us a favor, keep us up to date to what's going on, and we'll have you back on again as well.
I thank you for the time, Mike. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Thank you very much. Mike Wagner from The Mike Wagner Show signing off. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to catch The Mike Wagner Show on the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And The Mike Wagner Show has been powered by Sonic Web Studios. I'm Mike Wagner. Thanks for watching.